Andrea, welcome. Thank you for being here. Who else just showed up? Happy Friday. The song is called Elysian Fields. Not really sure who did it, but it's on an album called Wind Down. Got a little Humphrey Bogart in the background. Bogey's the man. Can't think of a better guy to help me start off the nooner. Jose Garza shows up. Welcome. My guy Bill from the UK. Thank you for being here. All right, so it's episode 19 of the nooner. This is the nooner. It looks like we got a couple first-timers here, so if this is your first time here, the nooner is where I'm dropping in here. So if this is your first time here, the nooner is where I'm dropping in every single day, 12 o'clock noon, every weekday that is, 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to drop a little noontime nugget about either sales, business, or life. Today we're going to be busting some myths. These are common myths about sales and salespeople. Thumbs up. Sales and salespeople that just need to go bye-bye. Okay, so who am I? Who's this guy talking to you? So my name is David Bradley. I'm a sales and marketing manager with Grant Cardone. Been at that game for the last 5 years almost. It'll be 5 years in March. I love it. What we do is we go into companies and help them increase production, usually to the tune of 15 to 30%, simply by helping them find and then handle missed opportunity. This methodology that we have, it works in large companies, mid-size. It works for individuals that are just getting into this. Somebody else just popped in, so I just want to make sure I say welcome. Can't see who you are, but thank you very much for being here. Make sure to favorite, restream it, tweet it, blast it, Facebook it, share it. So if that's you, if you have a sales organization, if you're an organization of one and you'd like to see a 15 to 30% increase, reach out to me. My email address, david@grantcardone. You can call me direct, 310-777-0352. Two other interesting things about me. I'm the author of a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. That book journeys my 15-year attempt to stop smoking. I finally figured out how to do it. Haven't had a cigarette since May of 2002. And in that book, I tell you exactly how I did it and how you can too. StopDon'tQuit.com is the website on that. I'm also the founder of a hashtag, soon-to-be book, called Rich Man's Gym, which is home-based strength and conditioning for strength of body, mind, and spirit. Really don't believe you need to go to the gym to get in the best shape of your life. You can do that right in the privacy of your own home, in your own garage, or at the park. So, again, this is the nooner. I'm going to be dropping noontime nuggets about sales, business, or life. Something you can use to take with you. Thank you. Something you can use to take with you into the rest of your day. You've had lunch for your gut now. It's 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Coffee's wearing off, right? I want to give you a little bit of motivation you can take with you into the rest of the day. So today we are going to be busting some myths. Now the reason I'm doing this is I read an article. Oh, holy smoke. Before I forget, today's a special day. Not only is it Friday, not only are we going into the weekend, but it is also the block's birthday. What I mean, I'm the chip. So Vern Bradley, my dad, it is his birthday today. Today is the day we celebrate his entry into this world. So Dad, if you're watching, if you're out there, happy birthday. Thank you for being born because that enabled you to make me. Thank you for everything you have taught me about life, about love, about pushing, about being a good provider. And I really appreciate you, and I'm so glad I still have you in my life, and I'm looking forward to many more years with you. So, happy birthday, Vernon Bradley. Thanks for being my dad. Okay, so anyway, we're busting sales myths today. Here we go, okay? So I read this article where the lady was, yeah. All right, so hey, happy birthday from the UK, Vernon. I read an article where they were talking about how it's really hard, especially in the tech industry, to find good salespeople. And the more I read the article, the more I started thinking, maybe this is really a perception issue. You know, maybe the challenge here isn't about finding good salespeople. Maybe it's just the way the author and the people that were being interviewed, maybe it's just the way they view salespeople that is turning out to be the challenge. Maybe there's something, I mean, you'll hear me quote Wayne Dyer a lot. You know, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so perception really is a lot of times has everything to do with it. So maybe the way salespeople are being seen, maybe that is having an impact on the ability to find and hire good salespeople. And so the article sort of exposed some myths or some stereotypes or some just weird perceptions about sales as a career and then salespeople. So today I'm just going to handle all four of them. And I want to give a fun fact, and also the other day when we were talking, I sort of set a precedent. So there's one thing you guys have to be in agreement with, and I think this will make sense to you, is if there's no sales in a company, then there's no revenue. Okay? And if there's no revenue, we're done. Close up. Go home. Okay? So sales is the lifeblood of any company. And if you follow my boss, Grant Cardone, if you've read his book, Sell or Be Sold, How to Get Your Way in Business and in Life, he will tell you that nothing happens until a sale is made. Would you agree with that? So if you're in agreement there, then the rest of this will make sense. If that's a challenge for you, wrap your head around it real quick. Yeah, perception is critical. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bill. Wrap your head around this concept that nothing happens until a sale is made, and you got to get that first, okay? So what I got from the article, though, was that they perceive salespeople and selling as some kind of like necessary evil for the survival of the company. And if you're operating with that kind of a misconception or that type of false data, then sales and selling is going to be a challenge for you no matter what. Make sense? Okay, so myth number one. What do you think the first one is? So if you're just tuning in, oh dear. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, we're talking about sales myths. We're going to bust them. The first myth is that salespeople are born, not made. Thank you for the follow, Jay Helmer. Appreciate it. The first myth is salespeople are born, price close, very close. First myth is that salespeople, but price is a myth. You're damn right. So you've read the book. First myth is that salespeople are born, not made. Okay. So in the article, I saw this little quote. It says, we consider our sales and tech roles right now to be our highest priority because obviously without those sales, we're not going to stay afloat. Then she goes on to observe that the challenge is you've got your salespeople and you got your tech people. But finding the person who's both, I mean, there's fantastic salespeople who just have a hard time picking up on the tech. Okay? So the implication to this is what? That a person can't be taught to sell. Well, I'm here to tell you that they can. And I'm also here to tell you that selling is a skill. It's something that you can learn. It's something that you can duplicate. And if we're talking about tech people, I mean, look, there's talented salespeople out there. Don't get me wrong, okay? There's talent in everything, okay? But there's a skill that is involved in that as well. You have to do, if you recognize that selling is a skill, it's going to get a lot easier for you. And so if we take this technical person, for example, if you're a computer programmer, then what has to happen? In order to get your program to work, you have to follow a series of steps that has a predictable outcome. Does that make sense? Follow a series of steps in your computer program that has a predicted outcome. Sounds like selling to me. So what is selling, right? It's following a series of steps with a predicted outcome. If you do this, and this, you're probably going to get a deal, right? So every great salesperson has had to build the skill of being able to sell. Even if you're talented, even if you got it, even if you can communicate well with people, get people to like you, you've got some natural persuasion abilities to you. If you don't put this in some kind of a skill set, you're not going to succeed at the same rate, okay? Every salesperson's different. They got their own unique levels of personality. So what if you're a tech guy? Doesn't mean you can't sell. Give me a break. So the concept that salespeople are born, not made, it's a myth. It's a misconception, okay? You can make a salesperson. Every great athlete has had to practice to become great. Every great anything. Not even athlete, doctor, lawyer, dentist, politician. Okay? They've all had to practice to become great. So Grant says in his book, Sell or Be Sold, that the best salespeople in the world, we don't even think of them as salespeople. So let's drop a couple examples if you're following along. Bill, you've been commenting so far. Who do you think is a great salesperson who is not labeled salesperson? Who can you think of? Steve Jobs? He was a salesman. Bill Gates? Sales guy. Martin Luther King? Salesman. Gandhi? That guy could shut down a deal. All right, Mother Teresa, Bill Gates, amen, that's right. Who else? Who else can you think of that's a great salesperson that we don't even consider him salesperson? All right, this should tell you that a great salesperson is made, not born. Okay, so that's myth number one, busted. Okay, myth number two, salespeople have to be pushy. So this is where we have an interesting, Bill Clinton, yeah, he's a salesman, all right. Salespeople don't, well, all right, let's look at the word pushy for a second. If you saw a movie, because again, it's perception's everything. So if you saw a movie that moved you emotionally, that got you excited, or you thought it was hysterical and you laughed, and it changed your state, meant something to you, powerful, wouldn't you push your friends to go see it? What would you say? Dude, you have to see this movie. You have to see this movie, right? You'd push them to do it. Flip side. If you have a family member who is hooked on drugs, alcohol maybe, or maybe you stood best man at your friend's wedding. You're the best man at your best friend's wedding, and 3 years into the deal you find out he's cheating on his wife. How hard would you push him to knock that shit off? How hard would you push the family member who you know is on drugs and needs to get off? So pushy, that's semantics, okay? The reason pushy has this weird connotation is that when you hear salesman and you hear pushy, you immediately shift over to some weird timeshare experience you had in the 80s, right? Where there's hard self follows commitment. Yes, sir. That's right. Hard self follows commitment. Exactly. You're right in line. Are you reading my notes? Okay. So the problem with pushy is that when it accompanies that stereotype, when it accompanies the disingenuous scam or some kind of snake oil deal, that's when pushy's bad. Okay. But just like you're saying here, hard self follows commitment. Okay. Salespeople have three key problems, one of which is uncertainty. Okay, so when you're 100% certain, you'll push. Okay, when and there's nothing wrong with selling hard. Okay, as Marketing Surveys is observing for us today. You got to have two requirements to sell hard effectively. Number one, you got to believe with full certainty and commitment that you, the product, the company is the right decision. Okay, if you don't, forget it. Okay, but if you do, you can push effectively and get away with it. Okay, number two, you're well trained. You're skilled up. Okay, that goes back to the first myth. It's a skill. Okay, you can build urgency without the hard sell. Okay, absolutely. Absolutely. You're totally right. You create urgency. But what we're looking at today and what I want to look at is how can you be so sold on you that you're willing to push, that you're willing to go there. Because it's the right thing for your client. It's the right thing for them to do right now. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking at. Okay. So helping someone to make the right decision. And if you look at Sell or Be Sold, Grant talks a lot about this. Closing is like a recipe. So you follow the steps for a predicted outcome. Okay. So the only difference is that you got to be able to sound natural and real. And that comes from practice. Okay. So that's myth number two. Myth number three, sales jobs are too much pressure and not secure. Okay. Sales jobs are too much pressure and they're not secure. So, all right, look, if it's a recession, who's getting laid off? More importantly, who's not? Okay. If you can master and learn the art and science of selling, you will never be without work again. There's a video from Grant that goes way back. It's a promotional video. Practice, practice, practice. Amen to that. There's a video from Grant that goes back a few years where the opening thing, the first thing you hear Grant say, learn to sell and you can go anywhere. And Grant tells a story about how when his father passed away, one of the last things Grant's dad said on his deathbed was, you teach those boys to sell. So if you can master that, each salesperson creates his own security. Love that. Marketing surveys. Fantastic. And that's exactly why sales jobs are too much pressure and not secure. That's exactly why it's a myth. What is S. Hoof 78? It's easy to create urgency and hard sell when you're working towards a goal. Yes, sir. Man, I love that. I love these comments today. Thank you, everybody. So, sales jobs are too much pressure, not secure. So, who's getting laid off in a recession? Well, it's certainly not the salespeople. And because we already established that salespeople are the lifeblood of any economy, for that matter, but any company. Wow. Bill says, wow. We'll look this one up. Any link to that? Any link to what? Which one are we talking about? Oh, are you talking about the video? Yeah. Shoot me an email to remind me and I'll send you the link for the video. So look, if you're looking for real security, your ability to sell will generate you all the security you need. Okay. It's going to require some hard work. It's going to require determination. Yeah. Email me so I don't forget and I'll send you the link. Okay, Bill? Hard work, determination, and drive. But name me one good thing that doesn't require hard work, determination, and drive. So if you want security in your life, you want to be able to go anywhere and get a job in any market, in any economy, you master the art of selling and the science of selling, and you have security. Okay? Think about this for a second, though, and then pressure, right? Sales is too much pressure. I don't know if I could take that kind of pressure. You get into this like whole George McFly thing, right? I don't know if I could deal with that kind of a rejection. So, look, pressure is what makes what? Diamonds, right? Grant says that, right? If you follow Grant, you're going to hear him talk about that all the time. Pressure is what makes diamonds. Okay, so what do you want to be? Do you want to be a lump of coal? Or do you want to be a diamond? I don't know about you, but I want to be a diamond. And in order for that to happen, I need pressure to be able to become a diamond. I got to put pressure on me to be better today than I was yesterday. I got to be able to put pressure on me to go out and reach out and get into the marketplace. You got to get out of your comfort zone. Diamonds. Thank you, marketing surveys. So, nothing good happens to you without pressure. You will not grow without pressure. Period. Fact of life. That's the deal. Okay. So, when it comes time to cut costs in a company, thank you for the restream, Jay Helmer. When it comes time to cut costs in a company, they burn the coal and they keep the diamonds. So, and then let's go back to the commission thing, because that tends to pop up in this whole thing about sales jobs being too much pressure and they're not secure, because they're like, hey, I don't know if I could work on commission and da-da-da-da. Let me just tell you something. You're on commission. If you get paid by the hour, guess what? You're on commission. Because as we talked about earlier, if the company stops selling, if the revenue stream gets cut off, if no money's coming in, thank you for just joining us. If no money's coming in, what happens? Nobody's getting paid, okay? You're on commission. So just get clear with that, okay? What's nice about being on commission, though, is that you get to determine how much of it you get. When you're getting paid by the hour, when you get that kind of commission, it is what it is. And you have no control over it, okay? So far, salespeople are born, not made. Salespeople have to be pushy. Sales jobs are too much pressure and not secure. All myths. Fourth one, here we go. You ready? Sales jobs are revolving doors. We've kind of alluded on this one already. But if you're skilled up, you know what you're doing, and you're generating revenue for your company and yourself, you don't have to go anywhere. Okay? The number one reason for turnover is lack of skill. Now, what does marketing surveys say now? They said better be at challenge than just waiting. Yeah. Okay? Exactly. Right? What do we talk about? What does Grant say? Nothing happens to you. Happens because of you. Talked about that in the Nooner the other day. So I would much rather be in a place of challenge and growth than just hanging out. It's one of the reasons I'm doing these Nooners. I want out of my comfort zone. Nothing good happens inside my comfort zone. Okay, so if I can come in here in front of the entire world and God and cyberspace and do this every single day and come up with new stuff, I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm growing. So we're growing together. So look, turnover exists because of lack of production, and lack of production is a result of lack of skill. Period. Okay. The average salesperson in America reads one book a year. Average salespeople never read one book on selling. Most CEOs are banging out 60 books. It's more than a book a week. Okay? And if you caught a Nooner recently, I dropped what that costs. Okay? 316 times less revenue for the average American versus a CEO. I don't think that's a coincidence. Okay? So lack of training, practice, skill. The only reason you won't like selling, Grant says, is that you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you're a sales manager, okay, here's some reality for you. If you're just tuning into that, okay, you have to push your people to be great. That's how you solve turnover. You train them. You push them to be great. You encourage them. You got to hire good people. When I say good people, as you're hiring, you don't necessarily have to hire a good, talented salesperson. You need to hire a good person. Okay? So you hire good people. And then you require that they get out of their comfort zone, that they push themselves to be better, and then you push them too. You don't be afraid to push a salesperson to improve and to grow and to develop. You push them hard enough, if it's not right for them, they'll blow out on themselves. They'll quit themselves. Grant said once, hey, I'd rather lose a sales guy because I pushed him too hard rather than I didn't push him hard enough. And if you look at great coaches, I'm going to ask you in a minute to list off. Thank you for the follow, Chorus, or K-Oris. Core is. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you understand it, then apply knowledge. Absolutely. Okay? So think about some great coaches that you can think of. Think about some great coaches you can think of. What am I saying? Great coaches. Think about them for a second. Drop a few names for me of some coaches that you admire that you think are great. What do these coaches all do? They recruit great players. They require that they practice every single day. And they push the hell out of them. They also make sure they have the tools they need to succeed. So a great coach is going to go into the gym and say, hey, is everything up to speed here? Is everything working? Is everything modern and correct? Right? So, who did you think of any? Because I'm going to name my top three. Three coaches that I thoroughly admire. Vince Lombardi, Tom Landry, Phil Jackson. What do these guys do? They go out and they look for the best players. They make sure they got the right equipment. They train them every single day, and they push the hell out of them. So nothing great is going to happen to you while you're in your comfort zone. And if you're a coach and a leader, nothing great is going to happen to your people either while they're in their comfort zone. So help them with that. Imagine for a second if Jeff Bezos, what his marketing survey says that coach is for getting the best out of you. That's right. That's exactly what he's there to do. He's there to get the best out of you. Okay. So Jeff Bezos, you know who he is? What if he stayed in his comfort zone? It would still exist. Everything that Jeff has created would still exist, but it wouldn't have been from him. And it would be very, very different. Wouldn't you agree? Right? It'd be a whole different experience. Okay, so today's Nooner, we've busted some myths. We've got rid of The idea that sales jobs are revolving doors. They just don't need to be. We've got rid of the deal that selling is too much pressure and not secure. We've gotten rid of salespeople are being born, not made, and salespeople do not, aren't pushy. Those are the 4. What did you guys get out of this today? What did you hear? What moved you? What changed your perception? Any perceptions change? Now, if you're just tuning in, because it looks like I got a couple of people that just popped in, so let me say hi to Steve Stock. Thank you for being here, Steve. Let me say hi to Foder David, or maybe that's David Foder. Either way, thank you for being here and welcome. If you missed the beginning of this and you want to catch it from the start, you can go to youtube.com/Cardone Solutions, and there's a playlist over there called The Nooner. And you can catch reruns of everything that I've talked about over the last 18 episodes. This is episode 19 of The Nooner. Again, if you're just tuning in, every weekday, Monday through Friday, I'm rolling in here at 12 o'clock noon Pacific time. I'm going to be dropping noontime nuggets about sales, business, life. I'm not sure what we're going to be covering on Monday, but be here, and we'll find out together. So my name is David Bradley. This has been The Nooner. Remember, greatness is a choice. You're welcome. You are welcome, Marketing Surveys. Hopefully we'll see you Monday. Greatness is a choice. Your greatness, don't fight it. And have a great weekend. I'm David Bradley. This has been episode 19 of The Nooner. See you Monday.